Welcome back to the Wizard Weekly, where we talk about everything happening right now in gaming. More like Wizard Monthly, but my version rolls better off the tongue, so let's just go with that. Man, you cannot count on anything in this world anymore. Not a backyard speed run or esports event existing without Nintendo's blessing, and damn sure not any game prices staying the same in the current economic PvP zone that we're playing in right now. I just got off the phone with the doctors and they said the Nintendo Switch got shot and the choice of weapon was a tariff. Where's the fucking humanity? If you saw my latest video posted, which I'm hoping you did by now, you would have seen that I briefly mentioned how the Nintendo Switch from 2017, 8 long years ago, back when Donkey Kong only returned twice at that point and didn't reach his third stride here on the latest system, the Switch console has unfortunately been subject to all of the pricing fluctuation that comes with this tariff situation, making markets more unstable than every game before its day one patch. And listen, I'm not going to spend too much time barking up this great Deku tree like I'll get a Master Sword in return, because at this point, man, we were all like thoroughly warned about all the drastic prices that were going to be changing, and even seeing this shit happen in real time with the Nintendo Switch 2's accessories and the launching amiibos having their price increase like a week before that console launched. It is an unfortunate conversation that has plagued pretty much every part of new things happening in gaming, since it can affect almost anything that isn't on store shelves already. And in fact, the Nintendo Switch 1 already has been affected by all the pricing markets, because about a month or two ago, I saw reports of the Nintendo Switch 1 getting price increase over in Canada. Then of course you got Xbox changing their prices universally, PlayStation shifting their prices in Australia, likely here in the United States, I can imagine pretty soon. It's just a ticking Mario bomb of just all the shit waiting to detonate and hit the fan. So let's just get into the nitty gritty of what's going on right now, because the Nintendo Switch console went from $299 to $339 for the base red and blue we all know and love console. The Nintendo Switch OLED went from $349 to $399, literally only $39 from the Nintendo Switch 2. That's insane. And then you got the Nintendo Switch 1 Joy-Cons going from $79.99 USD to $89.99 USD, which is insane for one set of peripherals. Oh, and yeah, the Nintendo Switch Lite too, that got a price increase as well. It's like the younger sibling you're forced to take with you when you're out with your older siblings. Now, as of right now, this new inflated price tag is only reflecting on the Nintendo Switch website if you want to buy directly from Nintendo. If you go to other online retailers like Target or Walmart, or hell, even go inside the stores, they still list these consoles at their non-inflated price tag, and you can still score them probably for a decent period of time with the stock that they have in hand. It's pretty obvious that Nintendo gets their shipments of Nintendo Switch consoles directly from the manufacturer, which is overseas, where all the tariff shit comes into play, which is why they're the first ones to charge these prices. But I would imagine they would reflect the 3DS on the secondary market level pricing by the end of this year, towards like December. But by then, and hell, right now, if you're in the market to actually buy a Nintendo Switch like from a retailer, it's probably a better option to just go with the Nintendo Switch 2, since they're damn near similar in pricing. Again, $39 is all that's really getting away with this. It's obviously Nintendo's strategy to eat whatever costs that they have to in the age of these tariffs and how it affects their business model, where they're trying to push out a new console but still trying to keep the costs away from it as far as possible, which is why I can only assume they're affecting the Nintendo Switch and its price instead of a freaking $500, $550, $100 Nintendo Switch 2 console. Very unprecedented times that we're living in, but even with their back against the wall, Nintendo still finds a way to sneak somewhat of a legal W into the picture, because with them dodging politics, they inadvertently just transfer whatever fans looking to buy a Nintendo Switch more towards just buying the new Nintendo Switch console, since there's not much of a price difference. So, you know, if you are one of the ones that were looking to buy a Nintendo Switch finally, like maybe you're just getting back into gaming, or maybe you're really young saving up, I'd say just pocket that money for a little while, keep stacking, and once you get $500, buy a Steam Deck. Moving on, Gamescom is coming up for all the wizards that may be in Germany from August 20th to the 24th. If you're unfamiliar, Gamescom is this back in the day E3 scale level gaming convention that's held every year in Germany that Nintendo failed to take attendance to last year after, faithfully always showing up to this event. But recently they announced that they actually set their alarm clock on time and won't miss morning lecture, because they're coming back on the 20th with demos of all of the Switch 2 games that the owners of that console are literally like foaming at the mouth for right now. Like, they're freaking starving for these games. That's right, they're bringing demos of every first and third party game that Nintendo Switch 2 owners are having wet dreams about, as the uncertainty of the 2025 release games that Nintendo promised are going to be coming out this year still don't have a release date for. Games like Metroid Prime 4 or what's the other one, Silksong. They're bringing DK Bonanza, MK World, Metroid 4, a Nintendo GameCube Classics, Pokemon Z through A, Super Mario Party Jamboree, and all of the third-party games that unfortunately can't fit on those Switch 2 cartridges right now. Well, some of them at least. But like I said, Nintendo's fans are kind of criticizing this move of the company, not because they don't think it's cool for Gamescom to have a Nintendo booth, but because, like I said, they want these damn games. Like, here in the comments you could say, stop letting people play Metroid Prime 4 and let us all play it. There's been talk of people who used to work at Nintendo saying that no word on some of these release dates is not a good thing, and the company might have just bit off more than they can chew and aren't going to meet the deadline. Obviously nothing is concrete right now, but accompanying all of that with the fact that the last third-party partner presentation didn't list any of the games that we really wanted to see, like Hollow Knight Silksong. There's a goddamn gnat in here and it's pissing me off. But as far as my insight into this whole release schedule of Metroid 4 and games like Silksong, I don't really have a bone in that race. Like, I hope it releases, in the later half of this year. I'm just happy that the game that I really want to play on my Nintendo Switch 1 console, which I know is going to come with, its own forms of setbacks, but Pokemon Legends Z through A, which comes out on October 21st, I believe. Now, if that game slips its release date, then I hope you guys don't like the sun, because I'm going to cast a spell and make that shit disappear. I'm going to be so mad. If I were to just throw a guess out there into the endless void as far as if Metroid 4 and all these games are going to reach their end of 2025 release dates, I would say yes, since they're out, bringing it to the public and just sharing it and still like promoting it before that game releases. I would hope so. I mean, worst case scenario, they drop this shit and like every game in existence right now, it needs a patch to be like good after it initially releases, like how Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was back when it came out. But hey man, even if not, Switch 2 owners, they still have that Drive X Drive game, the one with the wheels and the ball. Yeah, that shit. And lastly for today, I have heard and seen nothing but amazing things about Battlefield 6 and its open beta that they've been hosting for the past couple of days, and it's locked down right now, but we'll be back up on the 14th through the 17th, that says right here. Now, in my downtime for like the past week, watching people play this game on Twitch and YouTube has been the bulk of what I've been doing, because seeing people enjoy this game and get immersed into it in one of my favorite first-person shooter franchises of all time, probably my favorite over Call of Duty from the Fortnite lobby that shit turned into, it has been nothing short of refreshing to watch. Now, a few Wizard Weekly episodes ago, we saw some leaked gameplay footage of like the destruction that can happen in a Battlefield 6 lobby back before this was available to the public, and back then I pretty much had the same opinion. As long as this game is as good as it was when I played it in Battlefield 3 and had that same like vibe, except actually not Battlefield 3 and on that shitty PlayStation 3 graphic, then I knew it'd be a banger, at least a good time to be had for the ones who were longing for that experience like myself. Now, 2042 was a decent experience later on in its lifespan, of course, but after watching Battlefield 6, something about this experience just feels much more grounded to the original core experience of Battlefield, like in Bad Company, or like I said, Battlefield 3. It just feels much more of a return to a base formula. That or the freaking 7,000 studios that apparently worked on this damn game. Like EA combined every studio they had available to crunch in on this damn project. But it's definitely piqued my interest. So this time, I'm not going to sit on the sidelines and just watch the gameplay go by. This time, I'm going to get up and score some points on the next open beta when they open this thing up on the 14th through the 17th. And hopefully I'll enjoy it as much as I've been watching it, because it's really, I'm so glad to welcome Battlefield home. Probably as a distraction to what EA is doing to the Skate series, but I digress. And that's all that I got for today, man. If you enjoy, leave a like on the video, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.